Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Revive Mississippi. We got a show lined up for you today. We are ready to go. We're about to go live on 90.1. Yep, it's going to be a great show. We got Pastor Hall. We got Miss Taylor coming on. So it's going to be a good show. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Revive Mississippi. I'm your host, Keith Stamps. We got a great show lined up for you today. As we always end every show, we said thank you for tuning in. Thank you for continuing 7 years strong of Revive Mississippi every Wednesday night here on 90.1 FM. We want to say we appreciate the WMPR family and staff for being great hosts for us. And we've been here 7 strong, long years going through all kinds of issues. And we just appreciate the WMPR family for working with us every month, just working things out, and everybody for just tuning in. We open our show up always remembering those folks who are going through bereavement. It's real out there, y'all. Bereavement is real. Folks are going through serious issues, but together we can get through this. Just got to keep loving each other, keep taking care of each other, and keep letting each other know that we love you. So make sure you participate in the homegoing services, and long after the services are over, still continue to love each other, take care of each other, so that we can all be better and grow better. We got some announcements here. Unity in Action Litter Campaign. You can support Saturday, April the 10th, 2020, from 8:30 a.m. to 12 noon. Meet on Holmes Avenue between Toole Street and Lake Spark to support this collaborative event between Plymouth Heights and Dale Haven. So make sure you participate in this. It's sponsored by the Solid Waste Division of the City of Jackson, Hinds County Board of Supervisors, District 2, Keep Jackson Beautiful, and Jackson State University. For additional information, you can call 601-668-8525. That's 601-668-8525. Hey, and then also, don't throw the paper down in the first place. I know we got all these cleanup campaigns, but if we don't throw the paper down in the first place, you wouldn't have to have all these cleanups. If you see somebody doing some kind of illegal dumping, make sure you help us hold them accountable. We're going to start today's show off celebrating a wonderful young lady. I'm going to pull this up right quick so you can see a special that was done on her. 1 second here.
Of this month, we have been highlighting the work of a remarkable woman in Mississippi. It can be easy for young people to get involved with crime.
But there are people who do what they can to prevent kids from going down the wrong path. 12 News' Kate Cornell introduces us to Audrey Hall.
Keeping faith.
Seek ye first the kingdom of God, everything else will be added unto you.
And keeping kids out of trouble.
We have a Boys to Men ministry.
Pastor Audrey Hall is nothing short of remarkable.
I was the first female pastor of a missionary Baptist church in Jackson and in the state of Mississippi.
And she does much more than just lead Sunday services at Holy Temple Ministries in West Jackson. She's created a network of mentors for boys in her congregation who might be heading down a bad road.
We have young men who may have absent fathers, and we assign a mentor to them. And they are assigned in grade school all the way up through college.
She was inspired by a similar program that helped her brother years ago, where she grew up in Enterprise.
Coming to Jackson and small town Audrey, I wanted to do the same thing here in West Jackson, and it worked.
Within the church's mentorship program, Pastor Hull says they host game nights, worship, sleepovers, and other bonding activities to keep these young men busy. But the support system is not confined to the walls of the church.
In sports, debate club, whatever activity that they're in at school, I make sure I pencil it in on my calendar and that I'm there.
An active alumna in the local Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority chapter, Pastor Hull says her sisters have been key to helping her pull off all of these activities.
They're teachers, they're lawyers, they're doctors, and all I had to do is pick up the phone. And they said, Audrey, we'll be there.
She said that her sisters have helped her spread a message to other girls and women looking to make a difference the way that she does.
Don't let people define you. Don't let them tell you what you can or can't do.
Pastor Hull's smile and laugh are contagious. She makes sure to spread that positive energy to every young person who comes through her program.
Hey, it is my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to bring aboard Pastor Audrey Hall. For those who think what women can't do, she is an example of what women can do. And she's been doing it. I've been knowing her for about 8 years now. And she's a Pillar Award for right in the heart, right off West Haven over there at Holy Temple Church. Wonderful pastor. Welcome to the show, Pastor Hall.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. You surprised me with that clip.
Well, we got to celebrate remarkable women, and you're a testament to, some folks said that women shouldn't be pastors, and they put limitations on things that women can do. But you are an example of what can be done with the proper foundation. So tell us a little bit about Holy Temple Church and some of the things that you have going on.
Okay, we're at 5077 Cabana Circle in West Jackson, and we're Holy Temple Missionary Baptist Church, and we have a lot going on in that community. We have outreach ministry. We have a ministry that goes down. We'll go to different areas. We're feeding the homeless, and we're giving out blankets. We're giving out socks. We are also taking people to doctor's visits, and we're making sure that they're getting their prescriptions filled. I tell everybody we've been flying under the radar. Look like people are picking us up now, and we give all the praise to God. And I have a great congregation, very supportive.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we don't fight over there. So we're whatever the vision is that God gives me, hey, my deacons jump on board, trustees, members jump on board, and we just go do it. And we're just so blessed over there. We burnt the mortgage years ago, and now we're working on building a family life center for the children in West Jackson, and the young men especially, so we can get them off the streets and give them something to do besides rob and kill and steal, and that's part of the Boys to Men ministry that we have at Holy Temple, where we at Holy Temple are assigning mentors to young men, and those mentors show up at school. If these mothers are having problems with those boys, hey, those mentors will show up. And they will say, hey, guys, what are you doing? Why are you giving Miss So-and-so a problem? And I got that idea from Enterprise, Mississippi. Shout out Enterprise. I gave that to, we were a small town. My father died when I was 10. And all the men in the community, they just grabbed my brother, who's older. He was 7 years older than I am, 6 years older. And they made sure that my brother stayed in church, stayed in school, and stayed out of trouble. And, that's the difference, kind of country. That's how we did it back in the country. We, in those small areas, everybody was family. And when you lost a father, you lost a mother, people stepped in and helped. They did. And that's what helped my brother. And my brother never was arrested, never stole, never did any of those things, stayed in church. And so we just thank and praise God for his mentors. And when I got to Jackson, as I said, small town Audrey said, let's see if this works at Holy Temple. And it did. And we've had much success.
Well, I say this, I'm just going to, for those folks who are running for city council in Ward 4, if you haven't stopped by Holy Temple, I don't know how you're going to make it around the mountain. Because you're going to miss a wonderful jewel. For those folks, I'm just saying, those folks who out there, I only give you a little advice. Somebody asked me today, was I supporting anybody? I said, well, we're gonna sit down and talk about this as a community. But for those who running, make sure you stop by Holy Temple. Even running for mayor, make sure you stop by Holy Temple.
That's it. Well, you know, the candidates always overlook the small congregations. They don't think they need our votes. Hey, but my congregation votes, and we have influence in the community. So, you know, a lot of times they just overlook the small churches, not just Holy Temple, but all the small churches, as if small churches are not full of registered voters. And I don't understand that. They'll run to all the mega churches and the large congregations and overlook the small churches. And every candidate goes to a small church. When we all come together, we put that candidate in office because you didn't overlook us.
I can only tell you how I got there. I can't tell you how other people get elected. I grew up in a small church, and when I walked in Holy Temple, it reminded me of community. It reminded me of family.
Thank you.
You know, I think I went to Jambalooza. That was
you did
a few times, but when y'all had Jambalooza, it reminded me all the young people that are
church full of packed with young people that Saturday, and you wouldn't leave. You stayed.
Yeah, because I felt like I was at home. I mean, I really felt like I was at home, and everybody's so welcoming. So, if you haven't visited what they got going on over there, right off West Haven, and and if you haven't visited, go by, check out what they got going on. And when you walk into a church and you see women pastors, men deacons and trustees, and work being done in a church, when you see men in church, led by women, with a church full of young people, there was just so many interesting dynamics that were coming together in that church that you don't see in other places. Sometimes you go to churches, you don't see a lot of men. Sometimes you don't see a lot of children. But y'all have a very good mix of good people that are working hard in the community over there. I just wanted to highlight the remarkable work that you're doing. I know other folks are highlighting women's history, women who are making remarkable contributions in our present, not just history, but in our present. And that's what this show today is about. Celebrating remarkable women and their accomplishments, with hopes that people can participate in the future. Before you go, give the contact information of the church. If somebody wants to participate, what are your service hours and how do people do it?
Okay. Right now, as with most churches, we are via Zoom. And I don't have that Zoom link memorized, but we'll get it to you. But we're at Holy Temple every Sunday, 9:30, and we got an awesome young people's ministry. It's called Crump, Christ Raising Up New Kingdom Kids. Crump. Christ Raising Up New Kingdom Kids. And it's a training ground. We're training them to pray. We're training them to lead praise and worship. We have a tutorial lab in the fellowship hall. We have retired school teachers that are tutoring these kids and that will call them and work problems out and help them do English homework, whatever it is. And if we don't have it at Holy Temple, I personally will call my AKA sisters, and they are right there. They will help me. And a shout out to the Beta Delta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha here in Jackson. My sisters, you know, I had to do that shout out. My sisters help me. All I got to do is just pick up the phone. Those ladies, hey, Audrey, what you need? I'm there. And that's what's great about our sorority here in Jackson. And not only, I have a friend I went to law school with in DC. She is a member of Fellowship Chicago. And we have kept up. We're still best friends. And she saw on CNN, MSNBC, all the local newscasts about our water problems here in Jackson. Well, she went to her pastor, Pastor Reginald Sharp. And for those that don't know, Fellowship Chicago was founded by Reverend Clay Evans. I got a testimony. And then the pastor was Reverend Charles Jenkins, awesome God. He also wrote and sang War. So that's the church that Reverend Sharp is pastoring. Now he's 30 years old, Representative Stamps. He's 30, full of energy. So my friend Rochelle went to Pastor Sharp and said, hey, my friend pastors a church in West Jackson. And she's got members that don't even have water, or she has members that they don't have money to keep running to the store, buying water. And also a lot of elderly people in the community that may not be members of her church, but she takes care of them. And so I told Rochelle, I said, really? You think he's going to call me? Well, the next day I get the call. This is Pastor Reginald Sharp, Fellowship Chicago. Pastor Hall, what can we do? I said, well, right now I need XYZ. Then I said, I need water. He says, we're there. Well, I didn't know how it was going to happen, but one of the deacons, young man, 40 years old, owns his own trucking company. That's a member of Fellowship. And another young deacon who's 35, they drove an 18-wheeler with a 53-feet trailer full of water.
Wow.
And we gave that out one Saturday. And then I get a call from Pastor Joshua Micheal, who's at 31st Street in Richmond, Virginia. He said, hey, Pastor Hall, we got your number from Pastor Sharp. What can we do? And I said, hey, right now, if you could give us water, the water, it has been turned back on, but we need water. Here it goes again with the trailer full of water at Holy Temple. They helped us unload it. We gave that water out. Then I get another call, Representative Stamps, from a pastor in Albany, Georgia, Pastor Lawrence Knighton, who's a pastor of St. James Missionary Baptist Church in Albany, Georgia. He had partnered with Sam's there. And he has a deacon in his congregation who's also an owner operator. And they Tuesday, yes, which was yesterday, sent an 18-wheeler full of water again. And we had to put that in our fellowship hall. We don't have hardly room to walk in our fellowship hall right now because we have so much water. I'm not through. And then I get a call from Bishop Michael Smith, who is the pastor of a former member, Sister Mona Bates. He wants to know, Pastor Hall, I understand there's a need in West Jackson. You mind if I send you some water? There's another truckload of water. We had to put that in the foyer. So we'll be giving out all of this water April 10th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. That's on April 10th, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. So tell your listening audience to write that date down. Holy Temple Missionary Baptist Church, 5077 Cabanas Circle over in West Jackson. As my young people say, West Side. So we're in West Jackson, and we have an abundance and the overflow is what I call it of water. And our church always eats after service at Lily's restaurant in Clinton. I don't know if you've eaten there. They have great soul food. It's I said one of, I'm not saying they're better than any other restaurant, but they have great soul food. So Lily's, Tammy and her husband, Tim, want to do something too. So they're going to give out free lunches on April 10th. We are in partnership with Lily's. And so not only will we be handing out water, we will also be handing out free lunch. April 10th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. April 10th, that's a Saturday. So come by Holy Temple. And if that's something you can scratch off of your shopping list, and get you some water, and we will carry water to those that don't have transportation. We will carry water to the disabled. You just call the church, leave a message, and we will make sure that we get water to you. That's what we want to do. And I just want to thank my young people. This was a project that they took on, and my young women and my young men were helping unload those 18-wheelers. And they did an awesome job. So we're doing great things in West Jackson. And we give God all the praise and all the glory. And we got some great things coming up. We're partnering with some churches. We got some more things I'll come back and tell you about on this great show.
Well, we appreciate you, Pastor Hall. What's the phone number if somebody wants to call and
okay. It's 601 922 6588. 601 922 6588. Leave a message and we will make sure that we get water to you, because we know also that a lot of people don't have transportation. That J-Tran, especially over in the West Jackson area, they don't have transportation. They don't have a way to get to the doctor. We make sure we do that as well. We do a lot of things that go unnoticed, and we're not doing anything to get a name for ourselves.
No, but Pastor, you got to give credit where credit is due. Y'all always done great work. It just kind of get overshadowed sometimes. And
yes.
So that's why I wanted to bring you on today, to kind of highlight some of the things you're doing. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
And anytime you got any more announcements about what y'all are doing, feel free to give us a call so we can get you on the show again. All right.
And thank you for having me.
Yes.
And tell those Ward 4 candidates, come by Holy Temple.
Come on by Holy Temple. It's going to be rough on you if you don't. Take care, Pastor Hall.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wonderful ministry they got over at Holy Temple. And today, we're celebrating some wonderful women, some women who are doing great work and great things beyond the normal call of duty, beyond, we would just like to celebrate folks. And I got another young lady, and this young lady right here is just flat out amazing. When I say a spirit of excellence, she has a spirit of excellence in everything we do. And everything she does. I mean, from the different facets of her business. Let me pull up on the screen here because, all right, Miss Carlotta Taylor, how you doing, dear?
Man, I am doing wonderful.
Miss Taylor, when I say she has several businesses, but then also she's an author, and her work and her life story is just flat out amazing. And I had to have her on the show today because we're talking about women and some remarkable things that women are doing. And when I say everything she touches, she does with a spirit of excellence. She does with a sense of urgency, and it explodes. I mean, she puts up, you almost think she has a Midas touch, and she's made people's businesses around the country explode. And now she's going into coaching and teaching and training these very same principles that she has been working successful for her. And I see people posting things online about some of her business ventures and how they partnered with her over the years. And so I just want to welcome you to the show, Miss Taylor, and just share a little bit about some of the things you have going on so people who may not know you, can get to know you a little bit.
Wow. Huge question. First, I want to say thank you to Keitha Stamps for having me on your show. I am so excited to be here. Thank you for considering me. And I am Carlotta Taylor. Just a little about me. I have overcame a lot of adversity in my life, in and out of shelters, foster care. And it was a while before I realized who I was. It took a while for me to get through the healing process. And once I got my head wrapped around, yes, I am good enough to have a career, because it was time I thought I wasn't even good enough to Keitha. And that career path was law enforcement. So I have about 15 years, right at 15 years experience under my belt, from being a police officer to a child protection detective, robbery homicide detective, federal officer, and even some more things in there. But around the year of 2018, it just something just really, really just grew in my spirit. And it was nothing but the Spirit of God saying, it's time. You have to take that leap, because everybody around me, Dakita, they're getting excited that they're getting ready to get closer to retirement. I'm freaking out. I'm like, no, wait a minute, hold up. I haven't done anything. Like, everybody's patting me on the back with getting the degrees and stuff like that. I said, I got to do it. So I turned in my 2 weeks notice, walked away from a federal government job. And before long, I published my first book.
No more flinching.
No more flinching. That's right. 5 steps to overcoming adversity. And right after that, I became a certified speaker with John Maxwell team, speaker, trainer, and coach. And 2 things that I took away from that convention coming out of Florida was those 2 things were: 1, do it now, and 2, add value. So over the years, I have been making sure that I implement those 2 things: do it now and add value. So that's where the Heart of the Matter show comes from. And as far as coaching, I'm full-fledged in that, because I learned that even though I was really good in law enforcement, I have a knack with connecting with people, especially in one-on-one settings. I can do the same thing in a group setting too, because I also speak to large crowds. But I have a niche for helping people pull out the best parts of themselves out of themselves when they don't see it. So I'm also a serial entrepreneur. You talked about that earlier with Total Life Changes. I'm a national sales director. Shout out to Diana Williams and my team, Red Sea Action. Love you all. And have a wonderful all women's group called Queen's Toast. And it's free for all ladies. Just want to give a free shout out. If you want to be a part of an environment of women who support each other, empower each other, network, and build each other up, then you want to join Queen's Toast. So I'm here, and so many things I have going on. I'm just grateful, and I'm blessed, and I'm not allowing God to just lead my steps.
So, we met a couple years ago with your book, No More Flinching. And, I got my signed copy. I did more than just, take a picture and post it. Yeah. It's not just a women's book. It's a people book. And it's a life book that helps you navigate life, trauma, and all those things. We all have a degree of trauma, especially in this COVID year. I think everybody needs a little bit of mental help and mental health assistance and navigating. I think this whole last year has been traumatic for folks. So if you want a quick, easy read, it flows through. How can people look at your literary work, and how can they purchase it?
One of the best ways to do it, if you want an autographed copy signed by me, then you will want to go to carlottataylor.com. That's www.carlotta.taylor.com. And all books that are published through my website, I sign them all. And it's also available on Amazon. It's available on Audible. So for those of you who like Audible reads, it's available there and on Kindle as well.
Let me make sure I got this right. I don't want to say it. Did I type it right there?
That's right.
All right, www.carlottataylor.com for the literary work. Now, if people want to take a look at what you're doing, is because when I say I draw strength just from watching people. So I got folks that I just pay attention to, and I watch them. Like I never met TD Jakes in my life, but I click on his videos a lot. I know you, but we don't talk that much, but I watch your journey and draw strength from it. So how can people connect with you so they can do the same thing I do?
So they can do the same thing who does?
That I do.
Well, listen, you definitely want to connect with me. One of the easiest ways is to text Carlotta to 888-111, and you'll get all of my connectors, but also visit my website. You can email me at info@carlottataylor.com. Doesn't get any easier than that. My website is the same as my email, so info@carlottataylor.com. You can find me on Facebook at Carlotta Taylor and Instagram under official Carlotta Taylor, because someone else had my name. So they had my name, right? And I'm just a person who really likes to help people become their best self, reach past your breaking point. When it comes to my life coaching, I've been doing that title without calling it a title ever since I was 12 years old. I used to mentor and counsel adults at 12, even though I was going through what I was going through. And I used to think I was going to be a counselor, but I thought I wasn't good enough. And, life goes on. But here I am now, just operating in my God-given talents. And I'm grateful to have found my spark. And I tell you, I just live life differently. I remember being at the job, staying there 16 hours, like I could be doing something else. I'm supposed to be, I know it's something inside of me. And now I get to live that every single day. But I think I work harder now than I did when I worked the job.
Hey, I tell folks all the time, that's why I love being an entrepreneur. Because I work 18 hours a day for myself and my generations to come, and harder than you will, working a job. So sometimes you do a job to get to a certain place, but when you get to that place, well, you know what? I can invest in myself. I encourage folks to do it all the time. So what's next? Because we talked about what you have done. What are the next steps? Let us peek around the corner a little bit. What you got going on in the future?
Okay. Well, one thing I can share is, two things I can share. The Women of Strength Tour. I'm not sure if you knew this, Takitha. Well, you probably do. I partnered with an outstanding, lovely individual. Her name is Latasha C. Watch. That's my sis. If I were to say I had a bestie right now, I would say bestie, but I just don't like to get caught up in those terms. Latasha C. Watch, she is a partner, and she has orchestrated a lot of phenomenal, nationally known women speakers who have powerful stories. They've overcame so much. Like, you would have to just stay tuned. It's called the Women of Strength Tour. And they were on the Tamron Hall show. And my picture was up and they were talking about me. I was like, okay, I see you. And so the tour is going to kick off, I believe, I'm not sure what month, but 2022 due to COVID. It's going to kick off next year. So that's.
I think we got a caller. Hold on 1 second, Ms. Taylor.
Okay, great.
Let me catch this call. Hello, caller. Turn your radio down, call. Turn your radio down, call. Hello, caller.
Can you just repeat, give her name, the spelling of it? Could you repeat that for us?
Yes, ma'am.
Look it up.
Okay.
Thank you.
She says she wants you to repeat your name and spell it. She's calling in to get a better understanding.
Isn't that amazing? Thank you so much. I'm going to slow it down and make sure I say it slow and right. Thank you. I'm grateful for you to want to make sure you got my name right. It's CARLOTTA Taylor, TAYLOR. So my website is www.carlottataylor.com.
Because you got to remember, we also broadcast on 90.1. We 100 watts is Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Arkansas.
Come on now, Dickie.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're interviewing Miss Carlotta Taylor. She's a wonderful person, just a genuine good person. And then she's also an author. She's a business owner, and she's a business coach to help folks get off the ground. And we're talking to her about some of the things she's done in the past, and now she's giving us a little peek to some of the things that she's going to be doing in the future. And she was articulating to us that she's partnering with some folks at the Tamron Hall show, and we see it every day. And she's also got some other things she wanted to share with us as well. So what else you got going on, Miss Taylor?
All right. And so I'm also working on my second book, and I can't give details about it, but, I kind of feel like John Maxwell did. When they asked him, which book is your best book? And it's the one that I'm working on right now. No more flinching with something, which it is. I've read my book over a few times. I'm like, wow. Thank you, God, for inspiring me to get my story out there like that. But this next book is going to be amazing. And of course, Nikita, I have some things I really can't, share right now. I just want to say, stay tuned. Okay, stay tuned, because everything I do, I like to do it from the energy within. And I'm just grateful. And I want to make sure that I live my life with no regrets, and I give my best foot forward every single day.
So, with the different books you're pumping out there, and the different entrepreneur things and things you're investing in, I mean, to me, some things we have to promote. Sometimes we watch the news a lot, and we think that the only thing happening in Jackson, Mississippi is the news. When actually there are some people doing some amazing work, helping a lot of people,
Yes.
and really planting the seeds in people's hearts that they can do it too. Because one thing that I believe that we fall short in is celebrating each other and inspiring hope that we can do this. Jackson, we can fight, we can get through all of this. If you just watch news, you're not gonna get that. That's why Revive Mississippi is in place to celebrate things that we're doing, because we will get through this and we will be better and healthier and wealthier on the other side.
Yes.
It's just a trial. It's just what we're going through, but we're gonna get through this.
Yes.
We get through this with great examples of courage, of dependability, of love, of strength, and you represent all of that.
Yes.
You represent all of that. And so I got an invitation about 6 months ago. Can you believe this? She had to schedule 6. That's how busy her schedule is.
Oh yeah.
She called me 6 months ago and invited me to an event that's taking place tomorrow.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that event and how people can participate.
Wow. So the Heart of the Matter show, it was birthed from 2 places. One, me becoming a John Maxwell speaker, trainer, and coach. Like I was saying earlier, when I walked away, it was 2 things I took away from that conference was do it now and add value to people. So with my book, No More Flinching, 5 Steps to Overcoming Adversity, you know, we always hear this, Nikita. Everybody's always saying everybody has a story. So I'm like, what can I do? Either podcast or show, or what can I do to add value to people? Well, I know my story is not the only story of overcoming adversity. So I said, let me create a platform where we go deep and get to the heart of the matter seriously.
That's right.
About how you went through the adversity you did. How did you overcome it? And look at who you are today. And everybody, you know, I used to measure my story to other people's, thinking my story wasn't big enough, or, you know, I didn't live out of a 5-story window or house or whatever and break my leg. And now it wasn't nothing like that. Cause I know people have some really.
Hold on one second. We got another caller.
Another caller. Come on, callers.
Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment?
Yeah, I'd like to have offer my condolences to the funeral service of Mr. Thaddeus Sanders. You probably know about it.
Oh, most definitely. We're going to announce it in a minute.
Okay, all right.
Well, I appreciate it, brother. And he's talking about Mr. Thaddeus Sanders. You know, the brother was a wonderful brother, and we're going to talk about it in just a second. But his services are coming up. I talked to his daughter just last night. Honor and heart goes out to the whole family. He'd be truly missed. And so those services will be Saturday, but we'll get the details out in just a second once we get finished with Miss Taylor. All right, Miss Taylor.
Okay.
Go back to the heart of the matter.
Right, the heart of the matter. So I realized that everybody has a story. It doesn't matter if you were bullied as a child, if you're suffering from cancer, or you're suffering from grieving, or you're suffering from being a survivor of domestic violence. It doesn't matter what it is. And there's no big or little stories. Everybody has a story. So I opened up a platform where not only can you just come on the show to share your story, you must be someone who is actively doing something in the community, giving back to people, whether you're an author or someone like a Nikita Stamps, who every time I see you, you're doing some type of give back work. And so I had to have you on the show because, like I said, every time I see you, you're always working. You work with the children, you give back, and you're always, it's like, do you ever sleep? So I'm grateful to have you on the show tomorrow. And it streams live on my Facebook page, sometimes on the Heart of the Matter Facebook page, but definitely streaming live on YouTube as well. So that's going to be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the great news is that the Heart of the Matter is getting ready to have its own website and domain and stuff like that. So I'm going to start doing a little bit more with that because that's like my baby.
Well, we appreciate the invitation, and we hope our journey can inspire someone else. When I look back over my life is just a testament to the grace of God. it is just a testament to the grace of God. It ain't nothing I do, and I don't deserve anything that I have now. It's all about the grace of God. So we appreciate you for inviting us on tomorrow, and we look forward to participating. We're gonna pull that website up one more time, text information to contact you. The website is www.carlottataylor.com. That's CarlottaTaylor.com, and tune into her. You can look her up on the social media by her name. Wonderful young lady. And you got any parting words, Miss Taylor?
Well, I just want to tell anyone out there, if you're going through anything, know that that's just what it looks like right now. And you have the power and the ability. You would not be alive if you didn't, to overcome anything and go out and inspire and help someone else. Thank you, Dakita, for having me on the show. I feel very honored to be one of the women that you celebrated today. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. You have a great day. God bless and Godspeed.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Miss Carlotta Taylor. We appreciate her and Pastor Hall for what they're doing. And I just believe in gratitude. They've been such a blessing to me that anything I can ever do, I always try to pay it back and pay it forward. So we thank them for their work. The caller jumped ahead of me for a second, but when I talk to brothers, and I've been talking to brothers a lot in the last couple of weeks about living your life and appreciating your family. Our family had a great loss recently, and for Mr. Thaddeus Sanders. And over the years, he's been one of the brothers who had a son named Dwayne, and Dwayne and I is my cousin. Thaddeus is my father's first cousin, and we didn't spend a lot of time since we've been growing up together, but there's always been a sense of love and a sense of connectivity. And I hadn't talked to his daughter in a while, but last night we got a chance to talk, and I think we stayed on the phone 2 hours. We have to make sure you reconnect with your family. And his funeral arrangements, visitation will be held Friday, April the 2nd, 2021, from 9 to 6 at West Haven Funeral Home at 306 Depot Street, Utica, Mississippi. Graveside funeral services will be Saturday, April 3rd, 2021 at 11 a.m. at 2nd Calvary Christian Tabernacle. That's 13925 Highway 18, Raymond, Mississippi, 39154. Final viewing will be held from 9 to 10:30 in the sanctuary. Again, funeral arrangements for Mr. Thaddeus Sanders. Visitation will be held Friday, April the 2nd, 2021, from 9 to 6 p.m. at West Haven Memorial Funeral Home at 306 Depot Street, Utica, Mississippi. Again, the West Haven in Utica. And the graveside funeral service will be held Saturday, April the 3rd, 2021 at 11 a.m. at 2nd Calvary Christian Tabernacle at 13925 Highway 18, Raymond, Mississippi, 39154, and the final viewing will be held from 9 to 10:30 in the sanctuary. So we appreciate Sanders family. We appreciate all the community members who reached out. Make sure you wrap your arms around this family because they're just wonderful. I mean, my Aunt Hattie, his mother, was just a wonderful, wonderful woman. And and his brothers and everybody, just wrap your arms around them because this is the time where we need each other. And especially during times like coronavirus, sometimes we've been disconnected for so long. Haven't been visiting each other, and we haven't, we just haven't been around each other a lot. We need to reconnect safely, of course. Make sure you take care of yourself because coronavirus is real. It's not fake. It's not a hoax, but we can't lose our connectivity or sensitivity to our family. My family, I grew up in a big family. Every fourth Sunday, we have a whole lot of people. We almost had a family reunion every fourth Sunday at my grandmother's house growing up, where all of them would come and we would just have, a yard. We have 200 people every fourth Sunday after church. So please keep a whole family in your prayers, and all the families who are going through bereavement, because times like this, when you're going through bereavement and you've been kind of disconnected for a while, it hurts, especially if you have to navigate. If you're in the closest immediate family, you don't have that, being able to go get a hug from everybody and being able to sit down and visit with folks like you normally do. You're having to deal with stuff in isolation a little bit. So just make sure you reach out and make sure you let the folks know that you're there and what they need. Again, the funeral services for Mr. Thaddeus Sanders visitation will be held Friday, April the 2nd, 2021, from 9 to 6 at West Haven Memorial Funeral Home at 306 Depot Street, Utica, Mississippi, 39175. And the graveside funeral service will be held Saturday, April the 3rd, 2021, at 11 a.m. at Second Calvary Christian Tabernacle at 13925 Highway 18, Raymond, Mississippi, 39154. And the final viewing will be held from 9 to 10:30 in the sanctuary. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Peace unto you.
Hello, sir. What's your question or comment?
Hey, the captain. What are you talking about today?
You haven't been listening, brother?
Well, I listen every time you call. I've been listening since you've been on the show, but I just tuned in. I don't want to be saying, well, we're doing something else, bro, and we got to go there. We'll talk about that later.
Right now, we're talking about the funeral services for Mr. Thaddeus Sanders.
Okay. Well, you still city councilman, right?
Yes, sir.
And a statesman. Okay. I was just doing some basic math. I don't want to hold you too long, but I was just doing some basic math. And if you're looking at the budget, we've been spending on average $90 million a year for the budget. So 90 million times 10 years, how much is that?
Well, 90 times 10 is a little over 1.08 billion, but that's not correct. Our budget is way more than $90 million.
Oh, I'm just saying I was looking at the current budget. I know it's way more than that. I'm just saying you look at the street repairs or whatever, you say, what is it? 90 million.
No, we don't spend $90 million on street repairs, but
why is earmarked that way going to Hemphill Construction?
We don't spend $90 million.
How much you got? 77 or 90 million that's earmarked to Hemphill for street repairs?
We don't earmark money to a contractor. Those numbers are not accurate.
Well, why is it showing it on the budget? I'm getting it off the internet. I'm thinking that it's public information. Yeah. This is accurate.
Well, if you can show me where you see we earmark $90 million a year, you have to show me that, because I don't think that's accurate.
Well, it says for the budget, it clearly says that how many 77 million or 90 million, between 70 and 90 million going to be for street repairs, and Hemphill Construction is the primary contractor, which y'all have a budget of what, 400 some million dollars a year?
Yeah, it's a little more than that, but we'll have a conversation about that. We'll have a conversation about that during the budget season. All right, brother?
When is the budget season for the people? Because it's election time now.
Well, our budget season is in August.
Okay, then it's in August, but we're dealing with the current budget.
But the current budget, I want you to make sure you go to the right place. Go to the city website, Hey, hold on, man. If we can't talk at the same time. We can sing together. We can't talk together. All right. So
you can pass the buck with me, bro.
Now, so what I'm going to tell you to do is I want you to go to www.jacksonms.gov, and I want you to pull up the city budget, not a budget for a project, the actual city budget. And then we can have a discussion when you're looking at numbers. I even invite you on the show where you can look at it. I pull out the budget book, we can look at it together. But I want to make sure when we say something on the radio, we got to make sure we say the accurate numbers of what we're talking about, brother. So
I could have sworn that was written down.
Nah, our budget does not include a contractor's name or something for in our budget. That's not true. But thanks a lot, brother. We appreciate it. We got 4 minutes left to go on the show.
All
right, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, funeral services for Mr. Thaddeus Sanders, Friday, April the 2nd, 2021, 9 to 6, West Haven Memorial Funeral Home, 306 Depot Street, Utica, Mississippi. Graveside funeral service will be held Saturday, April the 3rd, 2021, 11 a.m. at 2nd Calvary Christian Tabernacle at 13925 Highway 18, Raymond, Mississippi, 39154. Final viewing will be held from 9 a.m. to 10:30 in the sanctuary. If you see Dwayne, you ride by and you see him out there, make sure you stop by and give your condolences. Same thing to honor the rest of the family. Because I can only imagine. I love my father to pieces. I can't imagine what they're going through. I just can't. Because we all have close families. They talk to their father every day, consistently. Every day. That's how they knew something was wrong. So that's how close they are, and will always be. So wrap your arms around the whole family as we go through these trying times, and all families that's going through bereavement. I love y'all. We're gonna have a great show next week. We're gonna talk about rental assistance program for landlords and renters, and we got a $200 million program that you can apply for. You can go right to our Facebook page and get the details of it. But we're going to talk about that next Wednesday. We're going to have the director on the show to talk about $200 million in rental assistance through the Mississippi Home Court next Wednesday, 6 p.m. You can go to the Mississippi Home Court website, take a look at it, and hopefully we'll answer all your questions next week. Our sponsors, as always, is Michael Jordan Transportation Service. If you need transportation services, go to www.mjtransportation1.com for your transportation needs. So make sure you go out and check them out, participate in what they got going on, and he's still hiring for the new location he's trying to open up in Utica. So again, you can go to www.mjtransportation1.com for your transportation needs. And remember, keep the bereavement families in your heart and prayers, and then reach out to them, because you never know when it's your time. You need to be a friend so you can have a friend in your time of need. Thanks to Pastor Hall and Miss Taylor for tuning into the show this week. We appreciate those wonderful sisters and what they're doing. Check out their work. Help them move forward. If you want to go by and participate, give your time. And if you want to, donate or purchase any of their material, go ahead and check them out. And you won't be left unhappy. You will be overjoyed with the different things that they offer. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for 7 years here at Revive Mississippi and the WMPR family. And as we always say, never let anybody put you in a position where you don't love your own people. Because when you hate your own people, you're part of the very oppression we're trying to lift ourselves out of. I love you, Jackson. I love you, Mississippi. God bless. Godspeed. And we'll see y'all on the other end. Handyman, get us out of here.